There is a substantial risk of loss associated with trading forex, binary options, stocks, or equities, collectively, asset classes. Only risk capital should be used for trading. Trading in any asset classes is not appropriate for everyone. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. No representation is being made that investors will make profits or will not sustain losses. Before trading in any asset classes, investors should consult with their professional broker, financial advisor, or financial consultant to determine whether trading asset classes is appropriate. Investors who trade in any asset classes should only do so if the capital used for this purpose represents funds that an investor can afford to lose without adversely impacting the investor's lifestyle. No trading strategy or methodology is without risk of loss. No trading strategy is risk-free, and no trading strategy can guarantee profits or freedom from losses. Investors risk losing the cost to execute any transaction, including associated commissions or fees. You should carefully consider whether trading in any asset class is appropriate for you in light of your investment experience and financial resources. Any trading decisions you make are solely your responsibility and at your own risk. None of the statements or materials in the Auvoria Prime chat rooms constitute a solicitation or recommendation to buy or sell.
Hi everyone, welcome to this call about Raidar. My name is Jaak, coming to you live from Estonia. I have been with Auvoria Prime almost from the beginning actually, and so I have seen the development, I have seen the good, the bad, I've seen everything that AP has to offer, and Raidar is the latest product in Auvoria Prime product line. Why Raidar? What's the idea behind Raidar? Raidar is basically an extension of John Wick signals. If you don't know what John Wick signals is, make sure to go to auvoriaprime.com, click on support and type into the search field John Wick signals. John Wick signals is a signal service that Auvoria Prime has been offering for almost 2 years now, and the win rate on John Wick signals is just so ludicrous. It's very high. So the idea was that what if we make it into an automatic version, meaning that I don't have to spend time on my computer, on my phone, monitoring signals, taking manual trades, setting stop losses, setting take profits, setting trailing, all that stuff, setting my lot sizing. What if we just automate all of it? Of course, you can choose your own settings, but it is a big time saver. Raidar was launched quite recently actually. The first results are in, but let's start with John Wick signals. If you haven't seen the results of John Wick signals yet, then here they are. So this is the overall John Wick signals data for the whole history. Win rate is about 82%. So you can probably see why the idea came and why Raidar was created. Of course, John Wick signals will not be the only signals provider for Raidar. So in the future, it will be possible to use different signals providers with Raidar. The difference from John Wick signals is actually noticeable, because John Wick signals uses the data. You have 3 TPs, 3 takes profits, 20 pips, 50 pips, 100 pips, and you have 2 stop losses, 90 pips and 160 pips only for gold. Of course, this stop loss also varies from the that's one advantage with Raidar actually. We'll get to this in more detail shortly, but with Raidar the stop losses will be varying. It's not going to be only 90 pips for forex pairs or 160 pips for gold. So far the results, let me show you. I have 2 accounts here. One of them is my own account that I'm running on Raidar. It's been running since 7th of February, so quite fresh, almost 1 month now, and so far it has made around 3% profit. But it is remarkable how low the drawdown has been. The drawdown has been less than 5%, and get this, This is a $250 account running a lot size of 0.01. Normally, with softwares or also manual trading, the rule is that you place 0.01 lots per 1,000 of capital on the account. So far, I can see with Raidar, even if the account is 4 times smaller than you would normally have with an EA, the drawdown is very small. So I'm actually considering increasing the risk on my account. Of course, this is not a recommendation to anyone. If you're using Raidar or you're planning to use Raidar, of course, you always have to make your own decisions. You always have to set your own risk level, your risk management. Second account is Dominic's account, and this account has been running for slightly longer. Average has been around 2.4% so far, drawdown slightly higher. What I want to say with this is that depending on when somebody starts with the account, of course the results are going to be different, and also the results are also going to be different based on the settings someone uses. So it's for Raidar so far, there's not a very big point in comparing accounts because Raidar has been out for such a short time. When you want to see the effect of different settings, of course you have to run it for a longer time. I would say minimum half a year or even better 1 year. Then you can make some solid conclusions about what settings are the best for this software. Of course, Raidar is also in constant development, as with every software that Auvoria Prime is providing. Next, I will go over the settings one by one, what each setting does, what it means, and then also I will be what's the word now? Anyway, I will be going a little into the future of Raidar. Gonna show you what settings, what additions, what functionality is going to be added to Raidar in the next version. And if you have any questions, of course, leave it in the chat. I will be answering them as we go along. So let's dig into the settings. There's not a bunch of settings with Raidar. If you compare it to Kratos, for example, there's about 2 times less, I would say at least 2 times less settings than with Kratos. So it's, in a way, it's simpler to use. Symbol suffix. This is depending on the broker, depending on the account type you have. You might have forex pairs with a certain suffix. So, for example, let's say you have USD CAD.ECN, for example, or you have USD CAD .raw, you have USD CAD plus, for example. There's many different varieties of this. You have to make sure that your suffix is put in correctly, otherwise it will not be able to get price data, otherwise it will not be able to take any trades whatsoever. Next one, take profit. Default is set to auto, meaning that take profit is going to be 20 pips. You can change it to user, and then you can adjust it manually to whatever you want to put it to. When talking about the data for John Wick, we can see TP1 is hit about 18% of the time, TP2 is hit about 22% of the time, and TP3 is hit about 41% of the time. Of course, with TP3 you have to bear in mind that this is gold is affecting this a lot. So I would say, for me personally, TP1, I can see if the trade runs well. I don't want it to close at 20 pips. So I use my own settings, user-based settings, and I have set it to 50 pips, for example. But if you are somebody who's just starting out with Raidar, who's starting out with trading, I would always first go with a demo account, and of course go with the default settings. So you get default settings are safe, then you can get to know the system. You can start understanding it better, the risk levels, what's involved in using Raidar, and then you can adjust the settings to your liking as you go along. There is no like set in stone best settings for any software, because also there's two factors here. One of them is that people have different temperament. There will always be also differences in brokers. Slightly there will be differences in when somebody starts, what the market is doing, is it giving good trades or what's going on. And of course it is also very important to be aware that you have to have patience with the settings, with everything, with setting up, with running it. Next one, let's talk about what's in the where is it? Yeah, next setting here. Let's talk about stop loss. If you set it to auto, then usually it will be closing the trade out at 90 pips or 160 pips for gold. But there is also situations where it will be closing out the trade sooner, because the stop loss will be different. This depends on the signal provider. So whatever the stop loss is from the signals provider, Raidar will be setting it for you if you have it set to auto. Of course, you can put it to manual if you want, play around with the settings. Stop loss with manual by default is 200, so you can just stop loss control, you switch it to user, and then you can adjust this number here. For forex pairs, 200 is yeah, I would have it lower than 200 for sure. Next one is lot size. Lot size 0.01 per x. So per x means capital, so per 1000. So it's like if I have 2000 on my account, then it will be opening 0. If I put this to 1000 and I have a $2,000 account, for example, then it will be opening trades of 0.02 lots, for example. If I have a 2000 account and this is set to 2000, it will be opening trades of size of 0.01 lots. Now this version that you see here, this is how the next, this is what we have in testing right now. If you are using Raidar already, this might be a little bit confusing, so I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. But this version will be launched soon, so this data will be good for you. Next one, trailing stop loss. At this point, at the moment trailing, you have the option of start trailing only when you have take profit hit. So when the take profit level is reached, it will start trailing for you. But in the next version, what it will do is you have two take profits basically. So you have a trailing trigger, meaning that if it reaches, let's say you have set it to 20 pips, if it reaches 20 pips, it will start trailing, and then it will start trailing by the amount that you have set. And you will also have like a final TP. Let's say your final TP set to 60, then if it reaches 60 pips, it will close the trade. It will not continue trailing. Next, we have phrase. This is a really important thing because when you're setting it up, when you log into your AP back office in your tools, you will have a phrase, like a long phrase of different letters, a combination of letters, and I think also numbers. You have to put this into this phrase field here. If you don't do it, then it's not going to be trading for you. It's not even going to be applied to the chart. If you press OK, it will just cancel itself out. And spread allowance. This is quite self-explanatory. So how big of a spread do you allow Raidar to have for it to take trades? This is also an important feature because with some brokers, for example, let's say there's a delay in when it's going to be taking the trade. and also in some situations where the spread is crazy high, for example during the night when there's a switch to a new day, then the spread is going to be crazy high. So you want to limit the spread, but you don't want to limit it too much, because then it might stop taking trades. In the next version there will be more customization regarding this. So yeah, the things that will be coming into the next version, some of them I already mentioned. So you have a trailing trigger. You will also have a safeguard, because what has been happening so far is some people have been putting Radar on more than one chart, meaning that it will be taking multiple trades based on the same signal. So in the future it will be limited to one chart only. As you saw here, the lot sizing will be made more logical. So more logical lot sizing. And in the logs right now it shows everything, and there's a bunch of things that don't add any value to the trader. So there will be minimizing of error messages in the log. And as I mentioned, manual slippage spread filter. So these are the things that will certainly be implemented in the next version, and I know there will be more updates, more additions, because you might have the question, okay, I mean, if you're, you just launched the product and you're already like trying to improve it, so is it not working, or what's going on? No, it's the same thing with all software. It's the same thing with, I mean, even take cars, for example. The cars are also always developing. Next version is better than the last one, and that's the same thing with EAs, with the software that we are running. Every software that Auvoria Prime is offering is being constantly developed further to make it safer, to make it better for the users, to improve the profits. Where to find info about Radar? It's actually very easy. You just open your browser. If you have any questions that your sponsor hasn't answered, or you like to do research yourself, for example, you just go to auvoriaprime.com. Yeah, there must be a lot of people signing up, because the page has been not the fastest lately. You go to support and you just type in Radar. Here you have frequently asked questions, you have the settings, you have the setup course. So there's a bunch of things that you might have questions about, and you probably will find answers to these questions on this page here. So far, Radar has been performing quite well. The accounts, some accounts that are not public, that I can't show it to you right now, that have been running for longer, have very good profit. So this brings us to trading psychology. As I was mentioning in the Gearbox call, it's always important to have patience, and that's the same thing with Radar, also with any software, because when you start using something, even if you start manual trading with a system, with a strategy you have, you never know if the timing is going to be good for you or the timing is not going to be the best, because you might get off to a really good start making good profits right away, and of course you might start at a time where the market is sluggish, or just there is no trades, or there's not very good opportunities in the market. So it's very important to have the long-term goal in mind, whatever software you are running, whatever manual trading you are doing, for example. It's the same with, it's like you have to have an investor mindset with whatever investment, including trading, you are doing. By long-term mindset, I mean, it's not just about today, it's not just about this week, it's not just about this month, it's not even just about this year. You have to look at the longer picture. You have to look at 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, for example, and make your decisions and goals based on that. Because trading is something that can get emotionally quite, how to say, involved for people, especially if they have no prior experience or they have very little experience. So it is a really good idea to have like a it's like a lighthouse, have your long-term vision in front of you all the time. So whatever happens in the markets, you have your long-term vision, and this will help you keep calm, keep focused, keep making the right decisions. And of course, if you do it long enough, you will be successful in the end. This is like, I would say, law of nature. Whatever you do, if you do it long enough and you improve, in the end you will get what you aspired for. Let's see if there's any questions. So far, no questions. Of course, you can leave the questions in the comments field if you're watching the replay, and I will be answering those questions next time we will be going live, which will be in exactly 1 month. So this is it from me today, and next time surely we will have more data, we will have more results, we will have more stuff to discuss. So get your questions ready and join the call for next time.